Today we have another mystery to solve. Murder mystery party, death in Antarctica. So first things first, let's go ahead and read the back. Note to the detective, guess that's me. Please save my brother, Martin Moore's life. He has been convicted of murder and it looks like I am the only one who thinks he is innocent. He is accused of killing Robert Kohler, the head of the Aquilo Polar Station in Antarctica. In this file is all the evidence in the case to help prove his innocence, I think. Well, I should hope so. Enclosed you will find the following: evidence photos 3, expedition notebook, newspaper, other case evidence 23, instructions and suspect sheet, online hints and solutions. 23 is not as much as I have seen before, so hopefully it's not that much. Please research who had motive, means, and opportunity to commit this crime. So we have motive, who had reason to kill the victim. Does any particular person benefit from the victim's death? Means, who had access to the murder weapon? Does any particular person have the unique knowledge, skill, or physical ability necessary to use the murder weapon? So there's a weapon involved. Maybe, maybe not. Opportunity, who had a chance to kill the victim? Is any particular person unaccounted for? Has no alibi during the time the victim was killed? I am convinced if you can answer these questions, you can help me prove my brother's innocence. Claudia Moore. So that is the sister. So with these kinds of games, there's tons of documents, tons of reading. And one thing I find is easier to do is to actually just put it on a computer. It's just easier for me to read and make notes, easier for you guys to see as well. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get all the documents onto the computer and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I have the physical documents here in case I need to look up anything, with my own eyes, or maybe take a closer look at something. There was one thing in the envelope that I could not really get onto a computer because it's a physical object. It's right here. It's like a syringe or something. It says discard after use. When we get to it, I'll probably just, take some close-up video of it, but we'll see when we get to that point. So this is the first document. It was paper-clipped on the outside of a folder, and we'll go ahead and read this first. It's by the Houston Police. Assignment. We are glad that you have this case file in your hands. You are not limited to the contents of this file and can use any object from the world around you that you think might help pin down the criminal. Mobile phone, internet research. Oh, okay. So I'm guessing there's some outside knowledge needed. If you need more information about one of the suspects or witnesses during your investigation, check both the contents of this file as well as anything else you would find appropriate beyond the file. So file, I'm guessing they're meaning this other folder that was inside. Instructions. You are the detective to decide who will be convicted in this case. Make your decision carefully. Consider the possible motive, means, and opportunity of all the alleged suspects. Check all reference points, clues, and alibis. Handle the contents of this file with care. Damaged circumstantial evidence is not applicable in court and can harm the case. All right, be careful. In order to organize your case, we recommend you use the suspect evaluation form included in the file. If at some stage you do not know how to proceed with the case, refer to the misplaced files, which will give you hints on how to proceed. Never too ashamed to use some hints. Closing the case. Once all of the evidence is gathered and reviewed, the detective must determine who committed the murder of Robert Kohler, along with the how, when, where, and why. Is there one missing? What? What is missing? Once you and your detective unit have a unanimous decision, go to the crime lab to enter your accusation. All right, so it looks like we have to insert our answer on the website, or maybe this is just to check the solution. Some detective teams become competitive and pursue different theories on the motive, means, and opportunity leading to different suspects. Well, it's just me this time, so no competing with myself. If you find yourself in a competitive team, then you each need to write the solution separately on a piece of paper. All right. Best of luck and success in trying to catch the criminal. On this next page was in the back. So we already read through this on the back of the box, and then let's just move on. So next is that suspect evaluation form they mentioned. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use this exact grid and try to type over it. We'll see once we start playing the game. And again, they have some help here about the motive, means, and opportunity. So next is the cover of the file or folder. Information in this record is confidential. Do not remove from police records. I think we have permission. It's a case of Martin Moore. Alias 3X/C. Okay. U.S. citizen. No identifying marks. Crime committed, murder. Place of arrest, Argentina. Arresting officer, Parker. Arresting officer, who got arrested. And then we have a date, September 6th, 2018. Now we will go ahead and go through the contents that are inside the folder. So the first thing is a letter from Claudia, the sister. To whom it may concern, please save my brother's life. He's being charged for murder, and it looks like only I believe he's innocent. On September 5th, Robert Kohler, the head of the polar station in Antarctica, was murdered. The court ruled my younger brother, Martin Moore, is guilty of the crime. Ah, that's probably who was arrested. Oh, right, because Claudia is writing to me to prove her brother's innocent. He was the programmer of the expedition. The day before, all members of the expedition witnessed an argument between my brother and Robert, which turned into an assault. Martin doesn't have an alibi, and a piece of evidence was found in his things. My brother says that he thinks that the murderer placed evidence in his room while he was sleeping, and I believe him. Well, kind of biased, but we'll see. My brother has been sentenced to death. This sentence should have been carried out yesterday, but the gentleman showed pity on Martin and gave us another chance to clear his name. The execution has been postponed until tomorrow. You only have today to investigate and find the real killer. That's definitely not realistic. I guess only in movies, right? Today, with a note, I enclose copies of all documents and items of evidence that our lawyer has compiled. You are our last hope, Obi-Wan. Best wishes, Claudia Moore. So next we have 3 photos. First is like a bottle of something. Maybe possibly what was used. Andoran. I don't know what that is. I'm sure we'll get more information on that. Next looks like a shoe print in some dirt or maybe some potted plant. I guess we have a shoe size, roughly. Is this supposed to be centimeters and inches, I guess? So 1 foot is a pretty big size boot, unless those are like special boots for snow or something. All right, next. Peppermint Penguin Bubblegum. Expires December 1st, 2019. This all happened in 2018, right? Sugar-free chewing gum with sweeteners. I'm guessing these ingredients might be important. I don't know. Someone could be allergic to gum. I don't know. Can have harmful effects. What is this on the bottom? You know what? I'm going to take out the physical one. I'm tired of twisting my head. All right. Coating agent E903, E553B. Contains traces of phenylalanine. Can have harmful effects. Noted. Let's move on. Next, we have this really long lie detector chart. So is your name Martin Moore? I'm guessing the more squiggly lines is when they're lying. So let's just go through this. Where were you born? 1803? Oh, wait, sorry. This is were you born in 1803? This is to get the baseline, right? Were you born in 1989? Yes. Do you argue with the deceased, or did you argue with the deceased the day before the murder? Yes. Okay, he told the truth. Did you kill Robert Kohler? No. He's telling the truth, right? Is that what that means? Does the syringe found in your room belong to you? No. And swoop. So he did lie about that. Did you leave your room on the night of the murder? No. That looks smooth. Did you steal the morphine and Andoran from the second delivery? No. Looks consistent as well. Did you steal the morphine from the first delivery? No. And boom. I'm pretty sure that's what it sounds like. Okay, so he lied about not having this syringe, and I guess that's this one right here, or it's belonging to him, and that he stole some morphine. But there is something with this Andoran that was found in the first photo. Okay, we'll come back to this. Next, we have some information about a patient named Toledo Raul Ojedo. Diagnosis, chronic gastritis. Drugs, Zegaride, 20 mg per day. All right, so on July, I believe you read this for those of us in the US, I think is the day, month, and then year, right? Obviously, there's no month of 15. So July 15th, headache, insomnia. So on September 5th, Robert Kohler was murdered. So this is July 15th. He had headache, insomnia, symptoms of stress, vitamin B complex. Okay. On August 24th, pain in the right toe, symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, diclofenac, I don't know what these words are, Orthopedic shoes, insoles, happy 2 feet. All right, so he needed some orthopedic shoes. Oh, that could be the shoe print. Because aren't orthopedic shoes like ginormous? All right, and then there's nothing on this. This is the back side. Let's move on. Next, we have an envelope. Jessica Kohler, so related to the victim, and is addressed to Klaus Newman at the polar station from Argentina, so ARG. But her address is in Deutschland. But I guess it gets mailed or shipped from Argentina, right? That's the only way it goes to Antarctica. All right, anyways, let's see this letter inside of it. Hello, Klaus, my little polar bear. I hope you have missed your grandma. Okay? Yes, I'm certainly old-fashioned. For you young people, it would be much easier to call someone or simply hit them up with a text. It is as your sister says that grandma is so very old that she'd rather share important news on ink and paper. I won't bore you with the details of our everyday life. Let's get to the point. I sure hope you don't want to continue with the expectation. Last week I had a detailed conversation with our lawyer. I wish I had good news to share. Sadly, there's still more. Since the acceptance of the inheritance, difficulties have arisen. Some of them are hardly manageable. In any case, I need you personally. Perhaps you will be able to find a way out of this situation. I hope you'll return really soon. With love, Jessica Kohler, your cranky grandma. All right, so haven't been taking notes yet, but I mean, this thing about this acceptance and difficulties, I mean, I just probably will just take a note on that. Okay, I will probably come back to this as well. Still don't know who these people are exactly. I have a feeling we will know soon enough. All right, so the next document is this really big newspaper right here. It looks so tiny. But there's like tons of pages on the inside. So I was looking at the physical copy, and the first thing that stood out on the very first page, there was some writing there. This word coincidence, the arrow, and then also this circled on page 6. So there's a lot of reading in this newspaper. I don't think I'm going to read through all of it. I will scroll by very slowly so you guys can pause if you want to read it right now. We'll see if we have to come back to this. But for now, I'm just going to focus on this part and then probably go to page 6. But let's read this first. So I don't know if it's referring to this one, but I'm going to read this one on the right. Who will get the legacy of number 367 on the Forbes list? There's a picture of a fire. Oil tycoon James Kohler dies in a plane crash. So James Kohler is not the victim, Robert Kohler. I'm guessing it's the father. This is also on the 2nd of September. And he was killed on the 15th, I think, or the 5th. So this is 3 days before Robert Kohler was killed. On September 1st, 2018, a private jet went from Mendoza to Santiago. 11 passengers were on board. The billionaire with his wife and 2 children, his sister with her husband, his secretary, the head of security, 2 flight attendants, and a pilot. When the pilot announced the passage of Curico, the air traffic controller approved a landing in Santiago. This was a fatal mistake. The machine got caught in a violent hurricane, and when it began its descent, visibly dropped to 0. According to the insights gained from the black box at the time when the pilot saw the rock, he could no longer avoid the crash. All the passengers died immediately. James Kohler had managed to build a multi-billion-dollar empire and was one of the richest people in the world. Yet he had no surviving relatives since the tragedy buried all his heirs. Now the lawyers are searching for heirs among distant relatives. So that explains grandma, right? And was this an accident? All right, just going to place some notes here. So my thinking right now is that Robert Kohler was one of these distant relatives who, something happened to him as well. And now this grandma is in danger. So someone's out to get their money. Usually for motive. If it's not love, it's money. All right, well, let's go to page 6. But while we do that, I will scroll very slowly for you guys so you can see each page by page. So here's page 2. There is page 3. Economy, page 4. Sport, page 5. And finally, well, not finally, but we have science, page 6. So I will just focus on maybe this one since it says Antarctica. Huge lake discovered under the ice of Antarctica. Photo taken by expedition participant Stefan Kraus. Follow the author's Instagram account to learn more about the life of a polar researcher. Ooh, so I guess I can check this out too. I wonder if there's going to be comments I need to read or something in the description. All right, let's read this first though. The polar expedition under Robert Kohler discovered the soil of an ancient sea at a depth of 2,000 meters in Antarctica. By means of radar, polar researchers from 4 different countries will be developing an ice chart of one of the last unexplored areas of the continent. This area borders directly on the Weddell Sea, West Antarctica. According to preliminary calculations, a basin is situated there, which is as big as a small country in Europe, an area of about 20,000 square kilometers. At some points, it reaches a depth of about 2 kilometers. The researchers came to the conclusion that in this area, there once used to be a sea that extended up to 200 kilometers into the interior of the modern continent. This theory is supported by the rock composition of the subglacial basin surface. These rocks are marine deposits, detected by the radars and by the relief of the pool wall, which was removed, in quotes, from the ocean and which was once part of the same maritime coastline as the fjords. Fjords? Sure. If, according to the scientists, the giant ice shelf, which slows down the flow of ice masses, were to dissolve quickly, the ice that currently rests in the basin will slip off into the sea and melt quickly, thus causing a significant sea level rise. Okay. Aside from these names, Stefan Kraus and Robert Kohler, I'm not sure what's really sticking out here for me, at least not right now. On the bottom, it's talking about Latin America and Cuba. There could be something here, but I'm just going to move on for now. I think I need more details about who these people are and what's going on. But here is also page 7, culture. And finally, the last page, TV. Oh, and there's writing on here too. Alibi, Battle of the Chefs, Season 1. What happens when 2 of the most successful and most famous chefs in the country, typically judging the work of others, become part of the ultimate culinary competition? In Battle of the Chefs, 2 renowned cooks are sent to prepare some of the best dishes of the world in a country with some of the most beautiful landscapes. They will fight to find out who is a better cook. These kitchen heroes, who outside of their home country are as good as unknown, will be competing for the seal of approval from local experts. Big ambitions and an intense competition is guaranteed, because at the beginning of each episode, the cooks will travel to a new region. There will be 3 challenges to deal with, either based on a local ingredient or a local dish. Any challenge can bring the chefs a star. Finally, there will be the ultimate test, the preparation of a 3-course menu inspired by the national cuisine of the region. The challenges will be judged by a local committee which consists of star chefs, food journalists, and ruthless critics. The chefs with the most stars will become the winner of the competition in a given region. After several regions and challenges have been explored, the general winner of the Battle of the Chefs will be announced. From 3/9/2105, Rio 2 Daily. So this is the 3rd of September, 2021. I don't know what this 05 is. All right, why would this be an alibi? Someone participated in this competition? Guess we will have to see. Since there's already a note here, I don't think I need to take any notes. And that's it for the newspaper for now. So next, there was this journal with a bunch of entries inside. So we'll go through all the pages. This is the cover of the journal. Station Aquilo, time period June through December 2018. Leader Robert Kohler. And there's a website here. I got to take a note actually of that Instagram to check also. I'll just write Instagram. And then here I will put website just so I remember. June 18th, our adventure begins. Everyone got here safely and have already started to prepare the place. The only bad thing is that some of Martin's luggage went missing, but fortunately nothing important. I'm really excited for our expedition since I have been dreaming about it for so long. So this is Robert's words. Robert, who is our victim, and who is Martin. I guess we will see. June 24th. The expedition has just started and we already have the first difficulties. Our connection to the next station has been lost. This means that a journey will likely happen tomorrow to figure things out. We have to decide who we should send. 7 hours through the snow will be tough duty. June 25th. Everything went fine. The journey to the next station was cancelled. Apparently, the Chinese team was able to resolve some technical problems to save the day. Right, they mentioned there was teams from 4 different countries, I think. So we know one of them is from China. And is this team from the US? July 7th. I started taking programming lessons. I really like it. The first lessons were more like cryptology. Binary code is a code used by computers composed of zeros and ones that stand for letters and numbers. June 7th continued, and we have all the binary codes for letters, or some letters and some numbers. But there are ... I really hope I don't need to figure out what's in between, but most likely if we do, that's why they told us that we probably need to Google stuff. Let's continue. June 12th, today an intense summer wind broke a part of the wind gauge from the tower. With this weather, no one was going to leave the station without an important reason. That's why Raul decided to deal with it later. Okay, we got another name. It takes around an hour with a snowmobile to get to the tower, and on the way, something could freeze off you. Freeze off you? Oh, like a finger or something? All right, next. July 31st. Today, there was an unpleasant incident. Chris broke his arm as he tried to repair the snowmobile with Raul. Luckily, tomorrow the supplies will arrive and we can send him back to the continent. For now, we will take care of the power supply. I think that our team's skills should be good enough for that. Okay, some difficulties. August 7th. When we were playing poker, Thomas was so excited about his project that I volunteered to serve as his assistant for some of the experiments. This could give a new pulse to the genetic studies. Okay, another name. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some names and faces here. August 16th. Who would think that I would get into botanics and genetics? However, the experiments we did today left me with mixed impressions. Thomas is a first-class scientist, but an incompetent teacher. I still don't understand his criteria for the current experiments. Or could it be that I am the bad student and the one that can't absorb new knowledge? I have not given up. I want to give myself another chance. In 2 weeks, we will have the results for today's experiments. So I guess they're experimenting with plants. Maybe that was one of them that fell over and we had the shoe print in the dirt. August 19th. Today, the thermometer shows minus 20 degrees. The summer is good, warmer than last year. Global warming. At this pace, the team will be sunbathing in a couple of years. We should let the Institute buy us some deck chairs. August 23rd. So I argued with Thomas. It looks like he is making false claims. His conclusions were inconsistent with the results of the experiment. He overlooked these obvious contradictions and attacked me, immediately saying genetics is not really my thing, and he refused any further help. Okay, have we seen the name Thomas anywhere? He's a scientist, apparently. So to recap, we have Robert Kohler, who was the victim, and Martin Moore, who was ruled guilty of the crime. Have we seen Martin's name anywhere? I should be taking notes of all these names. So we do have a Martin, and that's Martin's luggage. So this could be Martin Moore. Then we have Raul, and here we have Thomas, and another Thomas. This will just make it easy for me to come back and find it. Okay, last 2 pages here. September 2nd, the helicopter brought us a container of provisions today, as if we did not already have enough canned food for the next year. Yet new faces make me happy. I had a nice conversation with the pilots. One of them just got back from a resort. It's easy to get jealous. And lastly, September 4th, so the day before the incident, nothing exciting during the whole day. I'd rather not waste any paper. And then something in the physical notebook is that there are quite a few empty pages in the back after this. Let me see how many there are. So 5 to be exact. 5 empty pages after this. All right, well, let's move on. So I'm just going in the order that they came in the file. I don't know if it's in any particular order. It probably would have been best to get some names and faces right off the bat, but I'm pretty sure we'll get there eventually. So the next document is from American Embassy in Argentina. The date is September 6th, so a day after the incident. File notes. Subject: the murder at the Aquila Polar Station. On September 5th, the American Embassy received a message from the Antarctica expedition, which operates under an American flag. The announcement reported the death of station head Robert Kohler and stated that murder cannot be ruled out. American officials immediately contacted the Argentinian authorities, and a helicopter was dispatched with representatives of Argentinian and American law enforcement agencies. Those who were part of the expedition were questioned, and the scene of the crime was investigated. Sound evidence was secured in Martin Moore's room. This was a syringe with Andoran and morphine traces covered with fingerprints from Martin Moore. Okay. I mean, from the lie detector test, he was lying about morphine, but not about Andoran. Under his mattress, an empty Andoran medicine bottle was found. An open pack of chewing gum was also found in the pocket of his pants. A surveillance camera was probably covered with this type of chewing gum. Okay. No traces of chewing gum on the surveillance camera were found. Therefore, no DNA comparisons are possible. Would that be the first thing you suspect if you see chewing gum? The suspect, Martin Moore, was arrested. All expedition participants were evacuated and handed over to the American authorities. The suspect was handed over to the Texas police, and all case documents were made available to them. Embassy Secretary Thomas Vorel. Okay, let's move on. So next we have some court document. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals. So we have the appellant Martin and Claudia Moore versus the state of Texas. Appeals to the decision of the Houston Criminal Court on the execution of Martin Moore's death sentence for the murder of Robert Kohler at the Aquila Polar Station. So let's see what their decision was. The prisoner Martin Moore ordered a cream cake for his last meal before execution. Before eating, the cake was checked with a security scanner at the checkpoint. No illicit items found. That's interesting. A security guard was present during the last meal in the room with the prisoner. He saw no signs of physical discomfort. Dinner passed quickly. Martin only took one piece of cake. After 15 minutes, the prisoner started to call the guards. The guard found Martin lying on the floor, breathing heavily. His lips were swollen. Okay, that's what I was suspecting, an allergy of some sort. The guard sent the doctor on duty. A primary examination showed an acute allergic reaction to dye E171, and the doctor gave Martin an epinephrine injection. I'm not even going to try to read that. The prisoner was immediately hospitalized. Due to the illness of the convict, the scheduled execution cannot be carried out and is therefore postponed to an indefinite date. As soon as further information is available, the matter will be decided again. Oh, I mean, that gives us more time, right? Because I thought we only had one day, but they said indefinite. All right, so that is a key piece of information right there. So I am going to check out this picture with the gum really quick. And it does have dye E171. It's upside down, but you guys can see it right here. So we definitely know that Martin did not chew this piece of gum. Otherwise, he would have had an allergic reaction. So he did not use it to cover a camera. All right, next we have a map of the polar station. So there are 4 rooms, a lounge, bathroom right here, kitchen, station leader's room is right here. This is a storage room, technical room, signal radio room, research lab 1, treatment room, research lab 2, doctor's room, foyer, where's 16? Foyer over here, a hall and a garage. Video surveillance is right here in this hall. So is there going to be a piece of gum somewhere? We'll see. Finally, we have some names and faces. We also have more websites, I think. Okay, we're going to have to check these out. Are we going to have to email someone? For now, I'm just going to make a note of the website, or just note that there is a website. All right, so we have Robert Kohler, the station leader from USA and Germany. We have Maria, who's a doctor from Chile. Raul, a mechanic from Chile. Stefan Kraus, he's the cook. Oh, he's the one who might have the alibi. Okay. Thomas Schneider, biologist, USA. Chris Johnson, electrician from Australia. Klaus Newman, glacialist, glacialist from Germany. And Martin Moore, the programmer from USA. All right, let's just move on for now. Okay, we have some text messages. And who? Who is this? Yes, that is the question. Maybe we might find some numbers on these websites. My love, call me. Ooh, so there is some love involved. Maria, call me. All right, so that's Maria, the doctor. Don't pretend that you don't see my text. We need to meet and talk. We have already talked about everything. Don't text me anymore. Wait, when is this? There's no dates. I'm not clear on anything. Speak for yourself. And then does it go to the right? I think my husband is starting to notice something's up. I have no idea how he'll react. He's very impulsive. Don't forget that. Okay, so it's an affair? So what? Does it bother you? Yes, just imagine. You know what kind of temper Raul has. Do they have the same name? They don't have the same last name, but they're married. I guess they're both from Chile. Then we have to meet. You don't want him to find out about everything, do you? And then, don't you dare tell him. Are you sure you want to test me? Don't stretch my patience. I'm looking forward to our meeting. You're a pig. So let's just take a note here. I'm just going to write affair with who? Because we have to find out whose number this is. Wait, is that what it means? This is the number. Yeah, wait, let me think about this. The blue means that it's yours, right? So we're looking at Maria's phone and it has a number texting Maria. Yeah, okay. So we need to find out who's texting her. This could be possible motive. All right, next we have some document. It says patient Robert Kohler. The date is May 9th. Or is that, no, this is this is the 5th of September, the day of the incident. So these must be all the tests that they ran. Or what is this? It shows a bunch of times here. Wait, is this when he was still alive? Yeah, do we have a time of death? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm seeing some really high numbers here. And then it suddenly drops. Do they have like devices on them to read all their vitals or something? It says Philips IntelliVue MP70 patient monitor. Am I supposed to look up what this is? It probably is what I'm thinking, right? The pulse rate at 2117 is 17. That is definitely not living. Okay, so like something startles him, or I don't know what happens to him between 2111 and 2113. So that would be 9:11 p.m. to 9:13 p.m. All right, let's just move on for now. Okay, we have another site, codebeautify.org. I think that's where you can just, write test code. Chapter 1, binary code assignments. Record your results, then reveal them online and mark the correct answers. Write down your name in binary code. Oh, don't tell me I gotta do this. Okay, I will do this later. I will come back to this after we go through all the documents. Write down your month of birth in binary code. Write down one of your passwords in binary code. Why would you do that? Okay, I guess this is the one we need. Probably to enter a site or something. I have answered all the questions correctly. I could be hired today to work for Bill Gates. All right, we'll come back to this. First, let me take some notes. Website, password. All right, so next we have some surveillance camera footage. And this does look like it's being covered with something. All events of note between 2100 and 2115 as recorded by the surveillance cameras. Okay, so we have some times here. So we have 21:03:55. We see someone walking away with a ponytail. And then 21:05:01. Cameras covered. So let me just make a note of that. I'm going to copy this and see if it lines up with anything that happened. So here's our two times. We had 21:03. And he seems normal here. And then 21:05. Also. Yeah, no significant changes between those two times. But from here on out, something happens right here, or starts happening and then continues to happen. All right, let's move on. Windows event log, user Maria. So there should be some timestamps as well. We are interested on the 5th here. Shut down at 12:42. Duration 14 hours. This is sorted, right? Yeah, it should be sorted by the time and date. Oh, this is like a month or the next day. I see. It was shut down the next day. So her regular patterns, though, let me see. I mean, the durations are pretty much the same, except this is like 3 days here. I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for. All right, we're gonna just have to move on for now. If something comes up about computers or accessing something, then we'll come back to this. Next, we have a few satellite images. This is on September 2nd. So I'm guessing this is the station up here. Don't know if there's anything significant on this one. Move on to the next one. They're zooming in on whatever this is. Is that a helicopter flying by? I don't see timestamps, but this is the same day on the 2nd. Next, we have the 5th, and it's the same aerial shot here, though, but we see some tracks here. Is that a snowmobile? Yeah, there's something here. It's probably some snowmobile because it made this track. So I'm just gonna take a note here. This must be what they were mentioning, like they had to fix something. It was mentioned in the journal. All right, so the next day on the 6th, it's zoomed in. Did something change? Let me look back. I don't know what time of day these are taken because the shadows are obviously different. But what does that mean? Or is it pointing in a different direction now? Could be pointing in a different direction. I don't know what that means. Okay, in the last one, we have some locations here. Mediotum or Medioterm, number 2. Medioterm, number 1. And then Polar Station Aquilo. This must be the one that was too far to go to. And this is on the 5th. Oh, we have 2 kilometers here. This might be significant. It might be an alibi for someone if they went. I don't know. We'll see. All right, next we have an autopsy. Maybe this gives us a time of death. It does not. But it gives us a period of death, which we kind of knew already. Yeah, 2100 to 2200 hours. So he's from Hamburg, Germany, born June 6, 1965. All right, now we have a cause of death. The cause was acute respiratory failure caused by asphyxia, lung, and cerebral edema. There are traces of andoran in the blood. Andoran, a powerful non-depolarizing muscle relaxant with long-term effects in the peripheral area. When injected into a vein, the effect is reached almost immediately. An overdose can lead to death. Symptoms: a prolonged paralysis of the skeletal muscles and apnea. Drop in blood pressure. Shock. I see. So he was definitely injected. I can see why they blame Martin. So he was in the treatment room? Oh, it's unknown. In case place of death is unknown. Yeah, where did they find him? Postcode, location, area, water, forest. Okay, yeah, it does mean he was found in the treatment room. Or no, did someone move him there? Okay, I don't know if that's important, but let's move on. All right, so we have 3 more documents. The first 2 are witness statements. The first one is Thomas Schneider. Wait, this is a long time ago. March 25th, 1975. Oh no, I'm guessing this is supposed to be his birthday because the day is September 7th. All right, let's read this. I have been informed of my rights and voluntarily provide the following statement. After a long day in the laboratory, I took a shower at around 9 p.m. After I finished, I went to my room. My roommate, Martin, slept or at least made the impression of sleeping. Like Thomas Schneider, let me go back really quick to see the photos. Or I mean this. Okay, he is the biologist. Just so it's easier for me to remember. Let's make this nice and pretty. Okay, we got Thomas Schneider, the biologist from USA. So then I heard Maria call for help, and I went to help. I can't say who wanted to see Robert dead. He had a slightly tense relationship with Stefan because our cook had spent all of his wages for the expedition. Stefan asked for an opportunity to get the money back, but Robert declined. He spent all the wages, or all his wages. And there was a fierce argument recently between Robert and Martin because Robert threatened to report Martin to the police. But at the time, I didn't take it seriously. Okay, why would he threaten to report him to the police? So I know there's other details in here, but this last one is kind of sticking out for me for the most. All right, the next one is by Maria, and I put her picture here. So she is the doctor, and let's read her statement. So if they have witness statements, does that mean they're not suspects? We will have to see. So I've been informed of my rights and volunteered to provide the following statement. Shortly before 9 p.m., Robert entered the treatment room. I prescribed him an injection as a preventative measure against his chronic pyelonephritis. This was a regular procedure performed every Wednesday and Saturday. Robert put on the headphones, turned on the music, and dozed off. About 5 minutes later, the lights in the room went out. But thanks to the emergency generator, the medical treatment was not interrupted. I left the room to see what the problem was and accidentally knocked over a flower pot in the dark. Probably not her shoe print though, just that she knocked it over. I assumed Raul was working in the tower, so I went to the utility room myself and discovered that the fuse for the treatment room and the doctor's office was blown. I tried to push it back in, but it kept getting kicked out. Unable to solve the problem, I went to the washroom to get a mop. Thomas was probably taking a shower because his clothes were on the bench and I heard that the water was running. Okay. Lots of details here. On my way back to the treatment room, I met Klaus and we went together to the storage room to get a flashlight. I returned to the treatment room after about 15 minutes and noticed a footprint in the soil of the flower pot I had knocked over, which was definitely not mine. Yeah, I kind of deduced that already. I also noticed that Robert was in an unnatural position. He had no pulse. My attempt to give him first aid was in vain. I called for help and members of the team came to the room immediately. Okay, so he was in the treatment room. Sometime after the incident, it was discovered that a paperclip was stuck in a socket. This was probably the reason for the short circuit, and that explained why I couldn't push the fuse back in. All right. Who had access to a paperclip and knows how to use it? I don't know who on our team would have wanted him dead. All I can say is that I heard a harsh dispute between Robert and Martin about the missing items from deliveries. Okay, so that is why. Just to connect the pieces. That is the one that was mentioned in the beginning too, but I thought it was Martin's stuff that was missing. Or is that what Robert's complaining about? Martin's missing stuff. There's a lot of details going on here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go through this very carefully. But there's one last document. This is on August 30th, Atlanta City Hospital. Dear Mr. Kraus, as one of the family members of Martin Kraus, born on they put it in this way this time, March 24th. And the address right here. Do I need to check all these? We need to inform you what our latest medical appointment revealed. As you know, Mr. Kraus was recently admitted to the hospital due to digestive problems and sudden weight loss. After thorough inspection, we unfortunately need to inform you that Herr Kraus has been diagnosed with stomach cancer. Ooh, who is Herr Kraus? The tests have shown that there is a chance that the disease can be completely overcome. This could be accomplished through chemotherapy as well as an operation followed by regenerative treatment. Although his insurance policy covers an initial treatment, we suspect that the insurance amount of $50,000 won't cover the full treatment necessary and that a further $60,000 will be required in order to complete the treatment to achieve the awaited results. So this is Martin Kraus. Different from Martin Moore. Yes, so we have a Martin Moore and then we have Stefan Kraus and then this Kraus family, I guess. But how do they come into the picture? Who is Martin Kraus? Okay, anyways, we will start with the treatment for Mr. Kraus, but we will need a confirmation within the next 4 weeks that a further budget is available, as well as a primary payment of $20,000. We will do all we can to ensure a speedy recovery for Mr. Kraus. All the very best, Dr. Jana Donachie. It looks, oh, why does his signature say Jane Doe? All right, let me just take some quick notes here too. We have some names here. So mainly I'm wondering, who is Martin Kraus? This is a motive of needing money, but I don't even know who this is. Oh, wait, is Mr. Kraus Stefan? I mean, that would make sense, right? Oh, sorry, is it Stefan? Yeah, it has to be, right? So I'm just going to keep his picture here to remind me he is the only Kraus we've seen so far. But it says as one of the family members of Martin Kraus. I have to see if we've seen that name somewhere else. As you know, Mr. Kraus was recently admitted. What is this? Herr Kraus. Okay, we got a lot of names here. So Herr Kraus, is this the Mr. Kraus who was admitted to the hospital? Oh, it just clicked for me that he spent all his money or funds. Let me go back to that statement. So as in Thomas's witness statement, he had a slightly tense relationship with Stefan because our cook had spent all of his wages for the expedition. Stefan asked for an opportunity to get the money back, but Robert declined. I'll just write a note here for, I don't know how they're related. I'm just going to write relative with cancer. I'm going to write a question mark because I'm not sure. That's my hunch. And this is wages. Spent all of his wages. That was all the documents. There are some websites we can definitely check out, but that will do for this video. Look out for the next one coming soon where we'll definitely solve this case. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Go check out our channel where we played other mystery games. And if you love mystery games, why not subscribe to our channel? Or just hope to see you in the next video. So until then, I'll see ya.